Coach, hey, it's Jody Demling with Cardinal Authority. We hadn't talked to anybody since you guys last scrimmage. How would you kind of break down what you saw from the offense in the scrimmage on Friday?
I thought it was good. We moved a lot of guys around, and just seeing guys like, some guys that may have not been running with the ones come up and run some with the ones, just trying some different lineups out there. But, I thought the effort was good out there. So I saw some guys competing, and I thought some guys were stepping up and making some plays. And it was great work. I mean, it's every day we get to come out here, man. It's awesome.
Coach Ledford, Mark Baker, thecrunchzone.com. Last year, a lot of tackles for loss. How are you guys progressing to prevent, less penetration into the backfield?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with, guys understanding the scheme. For us, with what we do, a lot of that requires guys, what we ask those guys to do up front, you got to be very athletic. And, throughout the whole offseason, they know what we've been asking of them and the things that can make them better at it. And so for us, the backside of all of our plays is vital. It's so important. And that's the thing that'll take you a long ways. And so those guys just understanding the scheme and what we're asking those guys more and more. I think you saw it show up for us a lot better in the spring and the limited number of practice that we had. And also with these two scrimmages that we've had now underneath our belts. And so I feel really good about the guys, stepping up and they got an understanding of that we can't have that. And you can see that, and they're taking a lot of pride in that now.
Dwayne, hey, it's Jody again. We've talked to you a lot, and when we've talked this summer about the guys in the mix at the first spot on your line. What's the competition like for spot 6, 7, 8, 9, and beyond? How has that been through fall camp?
It's been good, and obviously Cam DeGeorge has come in. He's been the guy that I would say is definitely been the guy that I've been rotating in with the ones. He's playing that 6th guy right now. He's taking both reps at both guard positions and also both tackle positions. And so he's a guy that we're cross-training a lot throughout there. And while we're doing that, we're also kind of moving some guys around up front also. Just want to make sure that we're trying to play the best 5. And, what combination will that be? And so that's one with it. A guy that also has been playing very well and has been very good when he's been in there is Clayton Six. He's done a really good job with that. He's been running with the second group with the guards. But he's a guy that, we continue to watch film, and you see him step up and continue to make plays. In that center, you got Joshua Black and Jackson Gregory. Both of those guys kind of splitting those reps right there to kind of see who could be that backup center for us. And that's something that they're still competing at. And so I apologize. And Trevor Reed, he's still picking it up, playing really well. And, the more that he understands what it is that we're asking him with what we're doing from a schematics, the faster he's going to be able to play and understand on the field. But he's a guy he's got all the physical tools. And so the more he becomes comfortable, the better off he's going to be. And that's just going to take some reps and some time with him out there getting to play with those guys. So he's a guy in there in the mix as well with everybody.
Hey, Dwayne Cameron from the Courier Journal. We talked to Renato last week, and I think after the first scrimmage, Coach Satterfield mentioned Renato as somebody who's playing just as good as pretty much everybody out there. When you look at his film from the first 4 games, those 4 games he got to play, to now, where do you think he's grown the most in his game?
Well, I think it's he's a lot of it's just physical maturity. He's got a lot stronger. He's taking advantage of being in that developmental league throughout the whole year, really attacking the weights, and you can see that. And also just a confidence standpoint. He came in here and you can see at times it's hard for freshmen, especially up front, I think. just try to grasp everything and to play with the speed that we're asking these guys to play with. And not only that, now you're going to have to go against guys that possibly are older than you and stronger. And so, and he's done a great job in the weight room, getting the physical attributes where they need to be. But you can also see it from just his mindset. He's having fun. He's got confidence out there. And I think a big part of it is that confidence level that he's playing with right now.
And then a follow-up to that, when you recruited him, was he somebody that you thought can make this jump into his redshirt freshman year, or when did the light kind of click for you that this guy could fill the hole that Haycraft left?
I think he started to do that during spring ball this year. Those limited number of practices that we had, he did a really good job with it. And, I kept challenging him a lot throughout the whole time we were in quarantine, just making sure, when we get back, we got to find out who that guy's going to be. And, from first day of fall camp all the way until today, the practice we just had, he's a guy that plays with a lot of passion, with a lot of energy, just has a lot of confidence out there. And I talked to Coach Satterfield, and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. That not just talking about the offensive line with it, but as an offense, he's one of the guys that has really stood out. And so that's been very, very, obviously we're very happy about that. But I think a lot of it, you just see that how comfortable he is out there and the confidence that he has. And he's a guy that's whatever it takes. Last year we were playing him at guard. This year we're asking him to go out to tackle and play. There's times during this fall camp where I've moved him back into guard, and he's always got a smile on his face and going as hard as he can go. And we love him to death.
Dwayne, this is Kent with WHAS 11. How do you feel like Cole Bentley has kind of settled into things this camp, or not camp, it's practice now?
I've had the conversations with several people throughout the summer about Cole, and I personally think Cole is primed to have a really good season. And I think that, going through what he went through last year and just the battles that he had on the field, understanding what we're asking of him at that position, because it's a lot that we put on the center position. And just to see how he responds, how he has responded, with the limited number of reps that we had in spring ball, but also throughout fall camp, he's done a great job. He's an athletic big guy that can move and can really do well with what we're asking him in this scheme. And I think he's really primed to have a really, really big season.
Dwayne, hey, it's Jody. As a follow-up to that, what from this time last year until now, Cole was kind of he didn't start early in the year, but then came in and really played well in the last couple of games, as you've mentioned. What did he do to improve, or is it more of a knowledge, because you guys put so much on the center, is it more of being comfortable with everything that he had to do?
I think it was that. I think he was becoming more comfortable throughout, the more reps that we got. He became more comfortable. He went out and competed every day. And, and our thing is, like, we want to be able to play the best five, whatever five that is. And to me, I think Cole did a great job of really just understanding what it is that we were asking him to do. Because I think what we were asking him to do has been something a little bit different than what he's really not been accustomed to with some of those blocks that we've asked him to do. And he just went to work at it, and he worked and he worked and he worked. And now I feel very comfortable with him with anything that we're asking him. And from the knowledge of what we're asking him to do up front with getting everybody on the same page, but also with just the ability to make all the blocks. And, he's a big guy, was a former tight end. He's got great feet. He's athletic. He can move. And so it's great to see him really doing extremely well at that position right now.
Hey, Coach, this is Matt McGevick with Sports Illustrated. As far as overall offensive progression goes, what do you think was the most noteworthy difference between the first scrimmage and the second scrimmage?
The thing that we want to keep hitting these guys on and just keep, we talk about effort so much and just wanting the guys to play hard. And I think our guys, they show up and they do that. But the thing that I think that they can really separate themselves from the way that they played last year, from the first scrimmage to this last scrimmage, is just taking pride in the execution. You know, what it is that we're asking each person to do from alignment to assignment until the cadence to the snap till that whistle blows, and just how well you can execute your job. And, you know, and I see, and I think all of us coaches, we see that with the guys taking a lot of pride in that. They know when they make a mistake and they hold themselves accountable. And so to me, I think the guys, how they're holding each other accountable, and then how you kind of see the guys going out and executing at a higher level.
We'll take one more from Coach Ledford.
Hey, Dwayne,
This is Ken again with WHAS 11. Were there any guys, maybe young guys at the skill position, that kind of stuck out to you in this last scrimmage?
You know, there's, you know, somebody that really stood out, I thought, you know, he was here last year as well as Aiden Robbins. I thought that he's done a really great job running the football, protecting as well with what we're asking him to do from a protection standpoint. But he's a guy that's becoming more and more comfortable with running the ball for us. I think that, you know, as a young guy, that's somebody that obviously has stood out. I still talk about Renato Brown because, you know, he is a redshirt freshman. And some of the new guys that come in, I think, you know, Braden Smith, he makes plays out there. He does a good job. He knows what to do. Jordan Watkins is the same way. He's a guy that he's got that big playability to him as well. And so several of those guys, you know, are doing a really good job, and we're very, very pleased with it.
Coach, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
We'll pause a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Now being and go ahead and start the questions. We're open to questions for Caleb Chandler.
Hey, Caleb. Cameron from the
Cardinal Authority.
Hey, how you doing?
I guess pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm great, sir. Thank you.
Excellent. Talking about, obviously, you made a really rise in your impact last year. How have you progressed, you know, going from your redshirt sophomore year through the shutdown, the quarantine, and now entering practice, getting ready for 2020?
I just try to stay working on my fundamentals and technique. That's all we could do, really, through this pandemic. Just trying to stay on top of everything that let me have the season that I had last year, and just trying to get better and better every day.
Caleb, Cameron with the Courier Journal. We've heard a lot of the coaches and the players kind of rave about Renato and his growth over the kind of spring to now. Where have you seen the most improvement from him as someone who works on a line with him?
Just how hard he's going now. It's like he's broken out of his shell, and he's just letting loose on everybody. Nato, he's really, really out there showing his butt off, and it's making me proud because I've seen him grow up from the young kid that he was, and now he's acting like he's been out there before, which is really awesome to see. He's out there dominating, listening to coach, and coach is we're all pleased with Nato and how he stepped up so far through this camp.
Caleb, hey, it's Cody Dillon with Cardinal Authority. How have you yourself, do you feel like you've improved from this time last year until now? And how, and kind of in a follow-up to that, how different is it for everybody? I mean, the second year in this offense.
I feel like I've improved just learning the scheme, even like I'm more accustomed and used to it. You know, last year when we first got this scheme, everybody wasn't quite sure what they were supposed to do or what coach was asking out of us. But now after going through it for a year, then now it's about to be 2 years now. I just feel a lot more comfortable, and that seems like everybody. We're not really having really mental mistakes. It's just, if anything, it'll have to do with effort or something like that. But mentally wise, we're all there, and I feel like I really improved on learning this scheme and what the coaches are really asking, what they want from me.
Caleb, as a follow-up to that, Coach was just talking about how Cole has improved. This time last year he wasn't starting, then he came in. You're right there next to him, and you see what he has to go through. How much is on the shoulders of a center in this offense, and how much better is he right now than he was even at the end of the last year?
See, Coach Ledford loves his centers and tackles. He loves all of us, but he really loves his centers. He tells Cole he has the keys to the Bentley, and Cole has really improved on doing what the coaches has asked him as well. He wants to be out there every day. He's showing progression on what coach is asking for him and out of him. Cole seems like he's starting to understand the scheme exactly just like me. We're starting to feel more comfortable and everything and know exactly what coach wants out of us. And Cole is just coming off the ball even harder than what he was last year because, like I said, he's understanding the scheme a lot more than he did last year. Really proud of him too. He's had a great camp and worked really hard this summer to get ready for this season. Looking for a big year out of Cole.
Caleb Campbell, you had mentioned Renato as somebody who has kind of stepped up, kind of came out of his shell a little bit during kind of fall camp and the practices. Did he show flashes of how good he could be last year? Just going through I don't want to say the emotions, but kind of the challenges freshmen go through when trying to get comfortable.
Oh yeah, he definitely showed flashes last year. Like we knew Nato could be something huge for us, and just like most young guys, he just got to wait their turn, and I had to wait my turn, and I feel like he's getting to fully show what he can do now, and he's out there killing it, and he's just out there. Seems like he understands everything that the coaches are asking for him, and he understands his role is a little bit bigger this year, and he's embracing it, and I'm excited for him.
Caleb, hey, Jody again.
What
have you seen? Like everybody knows last year Hawk and what Hassan did as a backup. How will the running game, if at all, be different this year, or how can it be better than it was last year?
How can it be better? No tackle for losses. We were second to last in the country in tackle for losses, and the numbers that we put up last year. Just imagine if we got rid of those. That's what coach has been really preaching on us. Those two guys back there, Hassan and Hall, they're very dangerous, and they make us look good. I know they definitely made me look good in some plays. But what I really like about our running backs is like we're deep. It's just not those two. We have some guys who I feel like that's going to be able to step up and give them a break or two when it's very needed. That's what I believe. I believe if we get rid of the tackle for losses, that will really boost our running game.
Any other questions? Great. Caleb, thanks for your time today. And media on the call, thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all for having me.